What's going on, everybody? It's Dealer here, back again with yet another weekly episode of the RDX podcast. Thank you so much for joining us live. And of course, we've got a lot of interesting topics to talk about today. PubG, new updates, new games, PSX, and so much more. But first, of course, I wanted to start by introducing the most awesome panel in the universe that exists on, of course, a Tuesday at approximately 8 p.m. Eastern. So, Colt Eastwood, bro, how you been, man? Thanks for coming back for another show.
It's always good to be here. I'm glad it's RDX time. Take a little break from gaming for just a few minutes.
Today's been a little hectic, guys. Sorry, we kind of started a little late. I've been running late all day. So, yeah, we started a little late, but, thanks for tuning in nonetheless.
Don't put that on me.
We're not putting it on you, but we are going to hear a lot about from you with the PSX. So we got a lot of good perspective coming from you regarding PSX. It's gonna be pretty cool to hear. Southbound, man, thanks for making it in. You finally you got over here and you're here. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I'm very happy to be back. How's everybody been? It feels like it's been like 6 months since I've seen you guys.
Yeah, it's been about 6 months.
Yeah, man, it's been too long.
You went over there and got some experimental ball surgery. Luca, how you been?
I've been really good, man. It's another Tuesday night, another RDX podcast. Happy that Southie's back. Dealer, I'm shocked that you're still awake right now. You okay after that essay?
I'm not.
No?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to use a wheelbarrow to drop that paper off. It's finals week, so things are fucking crazy. And of course, PUBG's out, and that's why I say everyone in the chat right now, we got to give a shout out to you, because if you're actually watching the show live, we know you're really dedicated and you appreciate the content, because you could be playing PUBG or something else right now. And once again, thank you all day. Thanks for making it back in, brother.
Oh, no problem, man. What's up, everybody? It's another Tuesday night at RDX. Happy to be back. It's a rare sighting of the Mr. Chicken Dinner. And I'm ready to get it in, man. Let's talk these topics.
The Mr. Chicken Dinner. It seems like everybody's a little worn out today. It's been a stressful day for a lot of people out there. Especially when it comes to PUBG and all this stuff going on. So I wanted to talk about the Patreon giveaway real quick, because I want to get this out of the way. I announced this on Patreon several days ago, probably 4 days ago. I made a post saying, "Hey, I'm giving away the Evil Within 2 this month. If you're interested, comment on this post." And can you guess what happened, Luca? Can you guess what happened to that post?
It blew up.
Crickets?
No, absolutely no Patreon at all commented on that post. So of course I'm giving away the Patreon. I'm really blown away by that.
So you did this post today?
No, I did it several days ago. So the patrons, if you're a patron, please check the site, because that's where I do the giveaways. I've got to do them there, because I got to make sure someone else doesn't get something that you are contributing funds for. So if you're part of the game giveaway tier, literally nobody from the game giveaway tier commented on that post.
Okay.
So I'm giving it away to somebody in the chat.
Then, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, because you're a little confused, just like I were when I checked it. So I'm giving away the game to someone in the chat, and that game is brought to us thanks to Letha Papa. Thank you so much for sponsoring that giveaway. It's awesome. So once again, if you're interested in the Evil Within 2, I'll be looking throughout the chat. I'll probably pick somebody midway through the show. So I don't know. Evil Within 2, pretty good game. You know what else is pretty good? PUBG launch. The game is finally here, guys. Any initial impressions, good or bad? Maybe let's kind of ease into it a little bit. What do you think of the game so far all day?
Like I said, bro, the game, piqued everybody's interest. If you like it or hate it, you've heard about it. We finally got it on Xbox. It's a mixed bag, bro. I played at least about 10 matches, and
Nice.
very mixed experience. The first few matches, it took forever to connect to a server. I think some people were calling the server unknown battlegrounds or something like that. But it was kind of hard to get in. We switched servers a few times. Got in a few matches. It was that initial, if you're trying to impress somebody with this game or get them interested in it, like that first loading area when you guys are all butt naked running around.
Mm-hmm.
And
your favorite area?
Yeah, next to a crashed airplane, and
right. So
everybody running around on their draws.
Right, that area to me, I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like it feels like I'm playing on an Etch-a-Sketch.
No, that reminds me of Fortnite was doing the same thing when I was first trying the Battle Royale mode. It's doing exactly that.
Yeah,
Dropping in that opening lobby, running at like 5-10 frames per second. I'm like, what is this? And my buddy's like, oh, it evens out once you get in the real game. And once you were out there, it did.
Yeah, so once we get an airplane, the frame rate's still fucked. And then when you finally drop, it takes about, I'd say, 10 to 15 seconds to kind of smooth out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed when you get some engagements, some gun engagements, the frame rate drops a little bit too. So it kind of makes it difficult to get on my target. The controls don't feel as tight. I wasn't want them to as a shooter, but hey, this is coming from the PC where you have a lot of fluidity more than a controller. So I'm pretty sure with maybe a patch, 1 or 2 patches, they'll kind of clean this stuff up. But it's having fun with your friends playing this game is great.
It's a mixed bag, basically.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, but overall, like my impressions are, if I was a Metacritic all day the Metacritic, it would be like a 65, 70,
65 right now on day 1 of game preview. You know, I wouldn't say that's unfair. I think that's something a lot of people forget. Game preview, the game isn't done. Even on the PC, it's not done. It's a mod that was patched together by a fan of a game, and he made this mod, and then they got some funds and made that into a very popular mod, and then now it's a game. And you got to remember that across all platforms, this is not actually a game. It's a unfinished mod. You know, it is what it is, guys. But we do got to give a shout out to over 200 people watching this live. Thank you so much.
Did you see what Mike Ibarra said in the chat about the resolution?
No.
He just said that the Bluehole's working on bringing the resolution down to 1800p to keep 30 frames steady for the next time.
Perfect.
Yeah, which would be really good.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. There should have already been an option for 1080p or something else, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, so once you get that 1800p wall, from my experience on PC, it's very hard to even tell a difference between 4K and 1800p. To me personally, at least from my experience on Gears of War. So, South, what do you think about PUBG so far? Feel free to join in the chat as well, guys.
Well, you know what? I mean, I have to kind of back up what All Day was saying, because you know we were playing last night, and you know it's a fun party game. Like that to me makes it better. You know what I mean? It kind of makes me overlook the flaws a little bit more, because
kind of like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
It's much better than Friday the 13th from my experience.
It's you know it's got its flaws and jagginess, and you know frame rate drops and everything else. And you know when you're trying to shoot at somebody and they're shooting at you, and you're like, wait, what the hell? This guy's disappearing behind me, you know, and you feel cheated when you die. You know, you're like, oh man, I unloaded on that guy, and you know you end up dying. But no, it's a fun party game, you know, especially because you can you know party up with a lot of people. So it's that kicks it up a notch for me. So like I wouldn't go so low for 60 with you guys, like you know what I mean? I'd say more like a 75, you know.
You say it's not bad, but it's not amazing at this point.
Right. I like you guys said, 1 or 2 patches, and it's very, very promising.
Now, no one else in here has played it, right? Luca, you haven't played it. You've been chewing on your toenails. No. Colt hasn't played it. So me personally, I was actually surprised, and Digital Foundry kind of backed this up in their video today. They say they got a lot of conflicting reports, people saying it ran great or ran fine and ran like trash. And to me, I played about 4 matches last night, and once I got on the ground, it felt like, okay, this is fine. Like I didn't notice any bad drops, aside from being in a vehicle when you get a lot of stuff streaming in when you're moving very quickly. That looked like a rock solid 26, 23 frames per second right there. But out of the vehicle and in normal combat, the frames would kind of fluctuate. Might be some frame pacing in combat. I'm not sure what it was. It didn't feel like drops. It felt like something was just kind of a little weird in combat when it was kind of frantic and twitchy, you know? I know you know what I'm talking about all day. When somebody runs around that corner, you're like, fuck, and you know, you just don't know what to do.
I remember it was me and Dealer. We went inside this house, man. It was so cool. I couldn't believe what I was playing. I was like, oh my God, there's a guy there, and a guy there. I had to kill them all.
Yes.
My dreads were swinging everywhere, man. I was like on a tree, man.
Oh, wow.
Well,
you look like Predator with your dreads.
That's a proper assessment there, All D Digital. You do have to kill everybody. That's the goal. And I got to say, I was surprised by the game. I'm not going to lie, from being a game preview, from being a mod that runs like shit on every platform. You know, I was surprised how stable it was for me in those 4 matches. Now, I'm not saying that that's everyone's experience, but for me, I didn't have a lot of the issues that some people were saying. I didn't have a lot of the drops that some people were seeing. And
Well,
like I said, Digital Foundry kind of pointed that out today, that some people do have mixed results.
Yeah, certain matches, like I say, out of the 10 I played, maybe 4 of them were better than others, you know? So it wasn't consistent at all.
You know,
You had about 4
I could
matches
totally,
like I had.
I could totally see why everybody went nuts over it on the PC. You know what I mean? Because it definitely could be addicting.
It's definitely addicting. It's intense. You know, we don't really have those type of games over here besides.
Well, remember last night we were all, the map was closing in on us, and it passed us, and we're all running like we got to run like a million miles, and we're like turtles. You know, we're like, we gotta make it, and all day is like, we ain't gonna make it. We're like, we're gonna make it. No, we ain't gonna make it, and then we end up fucking dying. You know what I mean? And you just kind of laugh, and all right, start the next one up. You know, so
yeah, and you know what? I do like the fact that it pops you, what pops you out. You know, as soon as you die, you can hop in another lobby, and also if you do get disconnected from your party, when you load up the game again, right back in. So that's a cool feature.
Yeah, I also like the fact that you squad up before the game, like the traditional since EA. But
Right.
when you find a match, your buddies are there with you. They're kind of squatted up with you, decide where to drop in on the map. And no matter where they are on the map, their names are highlighted and visible through all objects. So you can go rally up and go with your buddies. You can find your buddies. It's easy to keep track of everybody. And from our experience, me, South, that tweet you put out with our pictures of the South is fucking hilarious.
All day, the underwear model.
I look like El Chapo, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just going around. We were going from house to house. We grouped up, and we were finding materials, supplies, weapons, and we got all this badass shit. I had 2 machine guns on my back, some body armor, and then woof, this fucking wall flies past us, and we all burned to death in the sun. So you gotta be very aware of exactly where that next ring is gonna be. You better get in that zone. I can see that addictiveness.
Don't forget, headphones are a key element to this game.
They really are, man. I was hearing, I'm not even exaggerating. I know a lot of idiots
it was
that
crazy.
didn't understand, man. A lot of idiots didn't understand my tweet. They attacked me for that shit, but this game proves my point. I was listening to people in the next building.
No, it was funny because Dealer, I'm over here ransacking this house, and then Dealer's like, hold on, shh, all day. You hear that? So what the fuck are you talking about?
Dealer's getting all the hot dogs out of the fridge.
So I look behind him, and I look behind me, and Dealer's like in a corner of this fucking door, like caught in between it. He's like, did you hear that? There's a fucking car coming, dude, around to the left northwest side. I'm like, what? And here comes the fucking car. I was like, oh shit, get ready. So it's intense, it's fun. Headphones are essential to this game.
Yeah. They help, man. And like I said, it's like a sixth sense. I had X-ray hearing when I was playing that game, and I did hear that car off so far.
You had his spider sense going.
Yeah, man. So like I said, headphones, they help a lot. And whether or not the game does have performance drops, of course it does. It's preview. I've never bought a preview game day one, and I am surprised at my 4 experiences so far. Maybe I'll have those other 6 that suck. But right now, I think it ran and looked better than I expected it to, aside from the parts where you're there with the buck naked people next to the wreck plane and all that shit.
Would you recommend it to people? Would you recommend people pick it up?
Hands
I
down.
liked it better than I like Fortnite Battle Royale for sure.
He's already recommended it to me. I'm probably going to pick it up.
Now, Dealer, has anybody in here played Fortnite with the patch?
The X patch, yeah.
Yeah. How essentially better did it look?
Oh, it looks a lot better, man. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I think it's one of the better patches in terms of visuals. But apparently they're patching some performance.
And that
issues.
game's not final, right?
Nope.
Okay,
That's a demo, isn't it?
But it's not in preview, which is the weird thing.
It's in beta.
So you remember we were talking to Phil, and he didn't even know it wasn't in preview either. You know, so they kind of snuck that one by. Man, we got a super chat from Cyrus. Cyrus Berkey says like he accomplished a brave feat in PubG. He won his first boxing match today. Yeah, that's because you're a badass, Cyrusburg. Thank you so much for the super chat.
You had to punch somebody to death. That's
I watched somebody beat the fuck out of somebody with a frying pan. You know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, guys. It's what? How much does it cost all day? $30?
Yep.
Yeah, 29. Yep.
Go give a foot job, buy PubG, and see what you think. Luke, do you have any aspirations to graduate to PubG-ness?
Ade was trying to sell me on it.
I was pressuring her today. It was kind of bad. I didn't have
I
my pistol
know
out.
it was pretty bad.
It was bad.
But someone said they would buy it for me next week, so I'll check it out.
Oh, of course.
Sugar daddy.
Who are these people buying you all these games? You know, motherfuckers need games.
Lovely
too,
people
Luke.
in the community. Lovely people in the community.
I got patrons
really
that won't
appreciate.
I got patrons paying for game giveaways and won't even claim the game. So
Rip.
Evil Within 2 is a great game, guys. I can't believe nobody commented on that post. So I don't know. If you're interested in Evil Within 2, be sure and DM me on Twitter. That's what I'm gonna do. I can keep track of the chat.
Like, we're on a Patreon to be in this specific giveaway, but you know what? We don't want the giveaway.
Yeah, seriously. So, I mean, I appreciate the support, but you know, you got to keep an eye on that Patreon site if you want to be in tune with those giveaways. Because, like I said, I got to verify it's you and not someone else. So, I'm going to change it. If you want the Evil Within 2, which is a good game, it's got X support. Message me on Twitter at dealer_gaming, and of course, I will pick a winner here soon. So, any other final thoughts on PUBG?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
No.
PUBG.
Patch it.
Somebody said this game's supposed to give Xbox bragging rights, but it runs like garbage. Why can't we do anything right? It's the preview, and think of PUBG as a bonus. They decided to bring it over to Xbox. It's on preview right now. It's only going to get better as they bring updates, and they could be pushing up updates every 2 weeks. Who knows? Or they could push up an update in like 4 days, and it'll be mostly fixed. We don't know yet, but it's half price. Look at it that way, and if it's your thing, get it. If it's not, don't worry about it. I guess.
Is there an hour trial for it? I do believe.
Now, they've been talking about it, but people haven't seen the trial yet.
I think
it's one of those games that you do it. From my experience, and I didn't even think I'd like PUBG. I said this. I said a lot of people are going to play it and they're not going to like it. I think it's one of those experiences you got to have with 3 other friends, 4-man squad, and you got to go in, you got to drop, and you got to stick together. You got to work together. Yep. It's not a fast-paced game. You collect resources, you get the guns, armor, all the things you can get for that final confrontation towards the middle of that circle. So keep that in mind.
It's a hunting game. Yeah, it's like a hunting game, like a survival.
Except for you're just hunting all days,
all days over there scrounging through the refrigerators and old house looking for hot dogs.
These are beef.
The dealer's like
looking for the beanie weenies.
Put the hot dogs down. Do you hear that?
Right.
What is it? Is it a hot dog?
All day quit eating them fucking hot dogs. You hear that shit?
I got fucking hot dogs wrapped around me like a utility belt.
Oh, man. God. Hey, we got to give a shout out to almost 350 people watching us live. Guys, thank you so much. Hit that like button if you can. Anybody check out this new YouTube app, this update here. They finally updated the YouTube app on the Xbox One X. This is a godsend for some people.
Yeah. In fact, guys, before Dealer gets into this YouTube thing, go watch Xbox On's video from like a week ago. It was like best enhanced games to play on the Xbox One X. And watch it on this new app, and it runs at 30 or at 60 frames per second at 4K. And give it a shot. That'd be a really good video to try out the new YouTube app. It shows some really beautiful games at 4K on your app.
Yeah, the quality has just skyrocketed.
4 times.
I don't know, man. When I'm chilling before I'm about to pass out and go die for 8 hours or 4 hours here lately, I turn on the YouTube app, man, and I know that app well, and it's so nice to have 60 frames per second support, and I can, even my own content, I upload at 4K now. If you go watch my last video, I put a lot of time in that video, a lot of good news in that video. That's 4K, and it's just nice to be able to see that extra quality when possible. So I don't know. I just figured I'd bring that up. It's kind of a little side thing there. I know South was extremely excited for this. He was talking about
so excited. He's snoozing, but
yeah.
I honestly, YouTube is strictly for my phone, and that's about it. I don't really use it on the computer, on the Xbox. Nothing. It's usually on my phone.
Well, Dealer watches a lot of his YouTube stuff on his Xbox, and I said, "Hey, bro, use the app on the smart app on your TV because it has the 4K and the 60 support." It's like, oh, I don't like to change it, but now with this new update, like Dealer's like tiptoeing through the tulips. He's pretty excited.
Yeah, convenience is king, man. Convenience is king.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And this is something that we would figure that with the S, when the S launched last year, that they would have pushed for this update. But I don't know what the dragging of the feet was. But
well, it's all on Google. It has nothing to do with Microsoft.
Yeah. Too bad.
Google still it took them 4 years to update this app. So good job, Google. Every other device was doing 60 frames and 4K or whatever.
So we'll still be at 4K when everyone else is at 8K.
I know, right?
On PS5.
Half a decade later, we'll get the update. South, you big fan of Ghost Recon Wildlands?
Yes, sir. I actually was playing it the other night.
What do you think about the way the game looks?
It looked very, very beautiful. Man. Actually, if you go look at my little feed, I did a couple screenshots, and I was really like, I caught myself like staring out into the to the mountains and like just the landscapes, and I'm getting shot at by guys in green and purple and shit, and I'm sitting there looking at the trees, but
you're quite the photographer. I noticed that in Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Taking some sketchy photos, South.
You got to get some right angles, brother.
You gotta.
He's fucking nutscaping.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I played that game at launch on PC, and I didn't really think much of it. And then when I loaded up on the Xbox, I was really, really impressed. It's a really good looking game, and now I'm like totally hooked on it. I was supposed to get to a bunch of other games too.
Yeah.
Hey, for a second, shout out to Luca. That's not a real Mike Ybarra in the chat. So.
Yeah, that's not Mike Ybarra in the chat. So, context clues, guys. Just click on his name, and there they are for you. Hey, we got to give a shout out to Punkadish Gaming and all these guys that are always here supporting us. Indy, Papa, all these guys. We thank you so much, and of course, Mike Ybarra for dropping by and being.
That was nice. He texted me too, so he's over Starbucks.
Like, hey, Cole, what's your phone number?
Hey, why do you want my PIN?
Hey, Mike, how you doing? I'm doing fine. What'd you eat, PubG?
It's so funny. Like, we spend a lot of time reporting on gaming news and stuff we like and our favorite platform. But like, there's people that have a full-time job of bashing the Xbox. It would suck because like it would be really hard to get a girlfriend, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or if you just wanted to like get her to break up with him, you just steal his phone and show her his YouTube channel.
Right.
Look at this fucking idiot. Oh shit. Okay, that's why he does those weird things. Yeah, I mean, people call certain people toxic or liars, but go look at their channels. It's so bad, man. So
there's so much negativity. But speaking of non-negativity, Southie, are we going to play some Wildlands together now that I'm all hooked back in?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Send some invites my way, brother. I'm definitely down for it.
So Dealer and I were talking.
I'm probably about 70% complete with the map. So
I'm like 9%.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm down to go.
Oh, good. We'll just roll through people. Dealer and I were talking about Wildlands uses like a little bit of motion blur, and it makes since it's a 30 frames per second game, it makes it just run so much more smooth without that jutter that we complain about sometimes certain games.
Yeah, that's my one complaint. It's my one complaint about Fallout 4.
Yes,
that game I just lost my soul, and I'm pretty sure one ass cheek did that game. Right, I've put so much time in that game. I got up to level 47 in the last week. That's how bad it's been. So when I'm not working on homework, it's Fallout 4, and that's my one complaint. The game looks great. I could tell it's running at high ultra settings from the PC. I played it on the PC. I got to level 27 there, just at 30 frames per second, but 4K. The game doesn't really use a good solution for motion blur, so it
any, right?
Yeah, it's kind of juddery when you're turning the camera. But when I booted up Ghost Recon, move that camera not super quick, and it kind of gives the impression of a much faster frame rate sometimes. So
yeah, it's really
good. Asked me, is this 60? And I understand why, but just move the camera faster, and you'll know real quick.
You'll see the blur. You'll see everything will blur. Yeah, but
yeah, glaucoma. Yeah.
But whatever they did, they got it just right, really. I mean, the motion blur doesn't soften the image of the game when you're playing. It just
definitely not.
smooths out the gameplay so well. Like when you go iron sight on an enemy, you're always right there. The game just feels really fantastic. It's so just rock solid.
Now, would you say that because you played it on PC? I didn't play Wildlands on PC. Would you say that Wildlands on the X, the visuals are indicative of a PC quality experience?
Dealer, I played that game at 1080p 60 on my PC, and every time I drove, the camera would lurch, like it would kind of stall and catch back up, stall and catch back up. When I'm on foot, it wouldn't do that, but it's just like the visuals on the X. Like I was totally shocked because I have a really good memory of how I played it back in April on my PC. I would almost say that this is the most impressive enhanced game I played besides Assassin's Creed Origins, visually and just gameplay wise, the way it feels. I know it sounds crazy, but
I'd be hard pressed to argue with you on that one. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I could.
You know what else, South, is actually I've heard a lot of people online have went and picked up the game because they've been hearing about how well this enhancement is done, and it's really cool to see these games get more support.
Like a second life,
yeah.
Delilah HD in the super chat. Thank you so much. Just testing this out. That's a good test. I like that. You can test it a few more times. Test as many times as you want, Delilah. That'd be absolutely phenomenal.
I can send her a Scantron sheet if she needs it.
So Colt, you would say that the visuals are indicative of a PC quality experience, right?
Absolutely. They look fantastic.
That's what you expect when you play it on PC, just at a slower frame rate, of course, depending on what kind of person you are. I know people on PC that play at 30, believe it or not, but hey, I'd prefer 60, of course. So the game does look really good. And of course, we got to go over Digital Foundry's little comparison real quick while we're on this out there. It's 1440, and on the Pro, it's 1800p on the X with higher textures and, of course, better LODs at a distance. I'm surprised they didn't do better draw distance, though. They have the RAM to do that, but Ubisoft did a really good job with this patch, I think, mostly because they've added those effects. They could have kept the same effects as a Pro and ran it at 4K, but they knocked it down and they added those effects instead. They knocked it down to 1800p. So I say that's the way to go, man. All day, what were you telling me about this Ghost Recon Predator trailer?
Well, yeah, I seen it on Twitter. Shout out to Paris from GTR. He posted it was about 1:50 or maybe 2 minutes. It was a guy like in the wilderness and it's first-person view, and all of a sudden he gets taken up in the air and he's hanging there, and the screen goes black and he starts getting stabbed. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm like, and then all you hear that fucking predator noise. I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and I was like, oh shit. So it says something about an event. So I don't know if it's a time thing or is it an official DLC that's going to stay in the game. But it said event, so I think
free? Is it paid?
I don't know.
Well, because remember, like the original game, the Predator was in South America.
Yeah, he was. So I'm thinking that they said on the 14th they're gonna have a live stream or announcement, some type of thing talking about it.
So you're telling me that they're adding Predator into Ghost Recon Wildlands?
Yeah, that's great. It's awesome. Sounds cool.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that does sound pretty bad. I mean, sure, even frauds like Top Dog think so.
Well, for me, what seems kind of iffy, not iffy, but just weird how the game, people it was off people's radars for a while after launch, right? So they added the PvP super late, and I think it was too late. People now they're trying to bring people back in with this.
Yeah.
So hopefully people will go back to it. I mean, like I said, I have my issues with the game. The AI is probably the worst I've ever seen in a military shooter.
I play it normal too. I've heard that playing at the hardest difficulty is really crazy.
It is hard.
The AI just makes no sense.
Especially the last boss.
They probably made it hard by giving the AI aimbot and more damage and all that, though. Not by actually making the AI harder.
Right.
But it was hard because you get killed very easily.
It is weird that they're bringing this extra support to the game this late, but then again, it's kind of cool that a developer decides not to let a game die out.
I heard the game did pretty well. I heard the game had good sales numbers, man.
And I heard the PvP is great. So Shout out to Predator in the chat. He's addicted to that shit.
We got to give a shout out to all of the chat, all 350 some odd people watching live. We know PUBG's out. We know you got shit to do. We know it's finals week and stuff like that. But you're here, and hey, we got more people than we expected. So thank you so much. Hit that like button. We really appreciate it. Luca, you got absolutely any opinions on anything that's going on?
She's
No.
just sitting there picking her nails.
Sitting there watching soap operas?
Eating boogers.
I'm actually
and shit.
filing my nails. And I'm talking to people in the chat, so.
Okay, well, I guess I'll ask you again in a minute. We'll see. What
Dealer
happens.
sounds so bummed. Oh, I guess she's
Getting
not
nailed.
good.
I just,
all
you know,
over her
and
keyboard.
Lucas got Lucaholics, and she's letting him down right now. You know, so I mean,
Lucaholics.
trying to help. They need their
Yeah,
fix.
they want to hear that voice. You know what I mean? They're like, "Hey, I'm supposed to buy this broad a game. What the fuck, man? I don't want to hear her voice."
Yeah.
Well, you're a little spooky, fam. I didn't ask you to buy
She
me
looking a
anything,
little
fam.
spooky, fam.
All day does some voices. All day do Luca's voice. Maybe you can get some more games.
Well, spooky, fam. I didn't ask you to buy it for me.
Ask you to buy it for me. Luca
Well-
gets plenty of games from people. That's great.
Yeah.
Look at there, Luca. ... Heart. See, let's see. Look, the people have spoken, Luca. I want your opinion on 70 million PlayStation 4 sold. Come on, just let it all out there.
That's really good. Good for them.
All right, thanks.
I mean, like,
That's the most disingenuous thing.
like I mean, I
She had the
don't know
enthusiasm
what
of
else to
Mark
say.
Cerny.
I don't really care about
That's
sales
great.
numbers for that stuff. You know, we know
Yeah.
Sony won the generation. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's a dead horse. Sony won. How many times is sales numbers? Yeah, this back and forth shit. Xbox will never catch up, and
It
you know
also-
what? And they seeded that long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
It also-
You know what? Just sales numbers. I know a lot of people don't care, but it's still healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it also shows that gamers have almost doubled in this generation. It took all 8 years to get up to 70, 80 million on the 360 and PS3. And here they're at 70 million 4 years in. I mean, that's like a good
It's very good.
30, 40, 50% boost in how many people are adopting a console.
And Phil, people think the Xbox is doing absolutely just ridiculously horrible. But Phil, I'm sure you've heard this too, South. Phil has already said that the Xbox One is their most successful console ever 4 years in. So Xbox is doing well as well. PlayStation 4 is just on fire.
That's why for
Yeah.
him, it just kind of he laughs it off because it's like everyone's so doom and gloom. Like Xbox is history. All because they're in second place or third place or whatever the hell it may be this month. You know what I mean? It's like they're making money.
Yeah.
We're all playing PUBG, having a good time, laughing, fucking dying by laser rays.
The sun is making us.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck about who's winning?
No.
Who sells what? You know what I mean? Just have fun playing what you play.
Man, Microsoft's
Exactly.
like-
And I will say this. I think it's good that the PlayStation 4 is selling that much because it just shows that gaming is not dying. Because I know for a while there, especially at the beginning of the generation, people were saying, hey, this is probably going to be one of our last gens. Gaming's dying out. It's only a matter of
Everything's
time.
going
And-
to mobile, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I
hated
honestly
that whole
think that
mobile.
it's...
Bullshit.
I think this is good for the industry because it just shows that we still care about gaming. Gaming is still important. Gaming is still a great hobby for all of us. And, we're still going to be into it 10, 15 years from now.
It's the biggest form of entertainment on the planet. I think it's eclipsed movies and all this other stuff, and engagement's just through the roof. And really, I will say that Phil Spencer moved to those engagement numbers years ago, and he was saying, hey, that's where it's at. The growth, these sales numbers aren't indicative of how well our platform is doing. And then Sony's announced here in the last 3 months that they are going to those engagement numbers as well, because of course, Phil wasn't lying. These people know what they're doing, and I think all platforms are healthy. Nintendo's made a hell of a comeback. Holy shit.
Yeah,
And,
good for them.
There are some people say, I don't believe Sony sold 70 million. I'm not one of them. I've never said ever. Now go find one video where I've said, I don't believe Sony. I think Sony are lying. I don't think that at all. I was giving them props when they said 20, 30, 40. I was like, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, I was
because
getting
I don't have proof otherwise. It's kind of like when somebody says Xbox only sold 30 million. Where's your proof? Where are those official numbers from Microsoft? All right, it's the same way here. You can't tell me they didn't sell them. You have no proof they didn't sell them. So I'm going to go off of what numbers I have. You know.
Yeah, I know it's kind of funny. Like like people that I know in in the real world or whatever. In real life. Like it seems to me, like in my friends and my circle or whatever of people that I know, they own like 3 Xboxes compared to 1 PlayStation. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird to me to like still fathom how bad that Xbox got beat.
And then actually, your friends, how many of them look at sales numbers and NPDs?
No, nobody does.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody does.
Nobody does. It's a small niche crowd that does it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fanboys.
And it turns out sometimes the only times I have been worried about sales numbers was when I played an amazing game like Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm like, man, I hope this game did better than all these fanboys are telling me it did. And it turns out it did 7 million already. So, I mean, that game made a ton of money. They're making a sequel, and we're going to talk about that later in the show. But man, gaming is extremely healthy. I don't think there's anyone that can argue with that. That's for sure. Sony sold at 70 million. Not a big deal.
You know what? It's just right now they're kind of going in a weird gaming itself. It's going in a weird direction. They're trying to find ways to, make money elsewhere when it comes to microtransactions or loot boxes or whatever whatever gripe you might have with however gaming is going right now. But they're gonna find a happy medium so the consumer, which is us, is happy with the product that we're getting.
Yeah, I agree. Cole, I want you to cover this Gaming Bolt video here. They had some complaints. I'm going to focus on 3 for time's sake here.
Yeah, okay.
Gaming Bolt came out with a video, and I want your opinions on it first. That's why I'm going to leave with you here. They came out with a video talking about Xbox One's most annoying problems, the big problems with Xbox One, kind of like what they did with PS4. And I didn't agree with all the PS4 ones either, and I definitely don't have the same perspective they do with the Xbox. But the 3 I'm going to focus on is the UI. They say it's laggy. I guess that depends per person. They also say the games don't work a lot sometimes. I don't have that issue personally. And they also say, man, they're talking about patches. They're talking about game crashes. Cole, just lay it all on the chat. Lay it all over them. They want the answers, man.
All right, I'll go on that last one. They said that they want. I'll let you address Predator H2O.
Predator H2O in the chat super chat. He just gave $10.39. Says because fuck.
I just got it right now.
No, it took me a good because fuck round numbers. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, brother.
That's awesome. They said that sometimes games don't work. Like the whole reason to have this Xbox is so that the games will work, and they can't get them to play, and they crash, or the game took too long to load, so you have to go back and click it again. Like, I'm on Xbox a lot. You guys know these issues are so few and far between. Like, very, very rare. What was the other one that you talking about? The buggy UI. The UI,
the laggy
all
UI.
the way up until now. Yeah, the laggy UI. All the way up until now, the UI used to lag constantly for me, and now it almost never. Like every once in a while, I'll flip over to a tile, and it'll take a second, and then it's right back up. It's always snap, snap, snap. I thought that was weird. This
is like the worst time ever to complain about a laggy UI when it just got dramatically faster.
Yeah,
I think it's really fast.
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to be just as fast on the base model as well. Like they were able to get that across the board, but I don't know by experience. They were complaining about the
no, I'd agree because I play both quite a bit.
And they're both fast.
Yeah.
And they were complaining about the game install size. They're like, they said you can only fit 2 or 3 games on your Xbox on the internal. On your Xbox.
What fucking games are they playing? I got 6 copies of Quantum Break.
They showed Assassin's Creed Origins, Forza 7, and something else. I'm like, well, Origins is only 42 gigs. You know, you can fit at least 13, 15
That's so
games.
Annoying. Every video I've seen where they reference file sizes or the big patches, they choose the only games that are above 100 gigabytes to show. And that's like,
and he said
there's like 3 of them.
Yeah, right? And he said every game is 100. They average 100 gigs a piece.
What an
idiot. The funniest thing about this whole complaint, and I won't linger on it much longer than this, but the funniest thing is he's complaining about 4K textures and better overall enhancements on games. He's like, you can hardly fit. I was like, if you want better graphics and you want a better, bigger looking game, the file size has to go up. I mean, this is like the law of physics.
Something like that,
right? It's the law of
nerdix,
digital physics.
Well, if that were the case, though, the motherfucker Gaming Bolt should know, because what he does too, I don't know, man. But here's the thing: you want better textures. There's no getting around it. You got bigger file sizes. But when he says the games average out to 100 gigabytes, when you got Assassin's Creed at 40, you got Star Wars at 50 something, Call of Duty, I think at 50 something, Destiny close by. Every game I'm playing. Even Fallout with a 17 gig patch is only 60 gigabytes.
It'd take him 8 minutes to check those and run an average instead of just talking out of his rear end, which I hate when people do that. Just take a minute, do the math, and say they average 65 gigs or they average.
And even that seems high, man. Honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, I looked Assassin's Creed's patch was half a gigabyte. You know. It's just not. It is not what it's being made out to be. They show.
Hey, if you want smaller file sizes. If you want smaller file sizes, play on your PS4 because those don't have as big games. So I don't know what to tell you. It's a dumb thing to gripe about.
Yeah.
What was the third one you wanted to cover?
Game crashes and something else I don't have any experience with.
That was pretty much it. It's just really dumb.
I don't know if they were in the preview program. That could be a factor because
I got out. Yeah, I got out because of that. Because I used to complain to you about problems I was having with the UI and stuff like that, and you said get out of that preview program, and I've been happy off of it. I don't need stuff early anymore.
I couldn't play Forza for 2 months in the preview program.
Yep. Preview program software powers that hardware.
Well, see, that's the whole point of the preview program is you're experimenting with new stuff and
not anymore.
Well, yeah,
I don't have time. I got a game.
Yeah, no, I have one of my Xboxes still in the the preview alpha. You know what I mean? And I like to be able to see what the latest things that they got coming out.
If I wanted to,
and I know if it if something doesn't work and it bricks it, then I go, well, I signed up for this shit. I got 2 other Xboxes that I could use. You know what I mean?
If I wanted to deal with something that wasn't working all the time, I just keep playing on PC. Oh snap! No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No, but I do
have a your PC's consistency track record is pretty horrible, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I just would rather game and being off the preview program. And spending more time on Xbox, I am getting pound for pound more gaming time in than dealing with bull crap, and I'm having fun.
So long story short, Gaming Bolt probably unknowingly we're getting some of these issues from preview program, but if you want more consistency, maybe make sure your games are installed in the internal of the X. That could help. That's what I've done for the ones that I play the most, and I have no crashes, no issues, anything, man.
Yeah. I actually hearing his voice, and you can tell a lot from the way somebody narrates their voiceover. Hearing from this guy, he was not a big fan of the Xbox platform, and he had a lot of little things to gripe about. And everybody in the comment section was like, "What are you talking about? We don't have those problems." So I think this guy just had a little bit of an agenda.
So he got destroyed by his own videos.
Instead of having an external hard drive, he probably had like 1,000 flash drives in his head, like Hellraiser or some shit.
He had like SD cards duct taped into a SD card reader.
Using a camcorder.
Hey, we gotta give a shout out. We gotta give a shout out to 400 people watching this live, guys. Hit that like button if you can. Share the podcast. We appreciate it. So yeah, Gaming Bolt video, big waste of time. My last reminder: Evil Within 2 up for grabs. Patrons, if you're in the game giveaway tier, which there are several of you, check the patron site next month, because nobody claimed it this month. So I'm giving away Evil Within 2 to somebody in the chat. Message me at dealer_gaming on Twitter, and it's yours. So wait for those messages. I've got a few. We'll see where it goes. Thanks to Lethal Papa once again for that giveaway. I want to talk about
let them know how much the file size is, dealer.
Oh yeah, it's 800 gigs.
There you go.
And from All Day, I listened to All Day play Evil Within 2 for 5 minutes. He already knows where this is going.
Oh, God.
This bearded fuck screamed like a little bitch in the first 5 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Sounds like All Day.
You're looking for a good horror game. Apparently, according to All Day's Scream, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It scared the fuck out of me.
Hey, you reenacted the Scream for us on Xbox chat. Can you do it again? Get into character.
That was actually pretty accurate. Yeah, it sounded kind of like that. That was
Dealer thinks it's so funny. Like, this shit is spooky. You understand? I said, look, I don't play these games outside.
You gotta understand though, when All Day screams, he screams like his voice is like the Force, like he's gonna push the scary away. You know? So it's interesting. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, I'll fuck around and get VR and end up dead.
Yeah, you will. You fall out a window at the very least. Hey, South, what do you think about the Sea of Thieves release date of March 20th, 2018?
I'm excited because that's a week before my birthday, so it's like a early birthday present.
Early birthday present that you got to pay for.
Yes, sir.
Are you pre-ordering it? What are you doing?
Of course I'm pre-ordering it. Come on.
How much is the game going to be?
Are you crazy?
$60 game or what?
I don't. If it is, yeah, it should be. I mean,
Southie, did you get that controller?
No, not yet.
Thanks for tuning in, Delilah.
Yeah, that controller is very, very good looking.
It is a good looking.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Jago in the super chat. He says his favorite podcast. Period.
Woo!
Oh man,
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
I'm going to screen cap that and show it to all the other podcasts.
Show it to his own podcast.
You're the best, Jago.
Like, see what he's saying? You better not be talking shit.
Look at this shit Jago's talking. He called all of you fuckers. That's how the YouTube is, though, Jago. Twitter, everyone's a piece of shit. They're looking to take some shit out of context. Just remember that. But thank you so much for the support, man. So anyone else can see Thieves, man? Myself, I'm going to have to, I don't know, maybe it'll be a PUBG situation where I play it and I understand. But as of right now, I'm kind of on the waiting list here.
The E3 video presentation kind of changed me a little bit. It kind of I wasn't really looking at it before, but the E3 presentation was good.
Yeah,
that water looks hot. No. I think I don't know. I think it's super situational. I don't think that I'll be playing it solo or anything like that. I'm not too excited for it, but I mean, there's an audience for it. I mean, if it does take off, I just hope it clicks with people and the game gets support for the people who like it. You know what I mean? So.
Yes. I mean, it might not be for you.
It's
like
actually
Duke
quite
Nukem
popular.
says, he wants it, and Neverland says pass. You know, there's people who are different. You know.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in the tech preview or whatever. I don't know. They're not really calling it a beta, but it's like the tech preview, and you know, a lot of people like playing it. You know, once a week, and so it has its fans already. So I think it's going to do well.
Yeah, Luca, this is your game of the year. I already know. What do you think about it?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in it at all. But I do hope it does well because I don't want any game to fail. So
yeah,
but yeah, I don't like sailing, and then I'm sorry, it's just too cartoony for me.
Yeah, it is a cartoony looking game.
Read this fraud's comment for Top Dog. What the fuck, bro?
What do you say?
He's just
Slave
fantasizing.
Oh,
he's fantasizing.
You might be in a little fantasy area there, Top Dog, and you might want to keep that shit to yourself, bro.
I can't help but thinking, gosh, you know, Black Flag Assassin's Creed was so great when it comes to pirate games. Like it can't be topped. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, but
what,
see,
Luca? What?
I didn't like Black Flag. Sorry, I don't like the sailing aspects. Like,
oh my god!
I don't like the sailing stuff. I'm sorry, I just
is it because you're in a confined area? You can't really move around that much, or slow movement, or what?
It's just kind of like it took forever. And it's just kind of I felt like it was a waste of time. Like, spoiler alert, but they're sailing in Assassin's Creed Origins. I was so pissed when I saw that. I was like, "Are you serious right now?" Yeah, I hate it.
But Luca, don't lie. You know, you get super excited when you randomly jump in the water and it's like, hey, Bayak, can you get a ride? You know, so. Like, oh, hell yeah.
I love how that guy pops up.
Hey, Luca might be scared of the water, but Matthew Qualls isn't. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. RDX, keeping it real. Thank you, man. He's been around for a while, man. Supporting every show.
Dealer's favorite line from Assassin's Creed Origins. That was creepy.
That was creepy? Like, what the fuck? That word didn't even exist yet.
Well, the other one in Assassin's Creed Origins you hear a lot is, what are you playing at? Like, who said that?
Oh, my God. Was play even a word back then? Jesus.
Don't make me pop the trunk on your bitch ass. All right.
I have a hypothetical for you.
I'll go fetch your fucking hay or whatever side mission this is.
Great
Let's do it.
Great game.
Bottles, hyenas, turbans, or whatever, fucking anything, bro. You got to just find the most ridiculous things for these missions. It's so crazy.
Did you say You say turbans?
You
Doesn't matter. Turbans,
gotta find
tacos,
flying carpets and
whatever object you can find, you have to go find it. So.
Oh god. Yeah, there's it's no Witcher 3 in that department, but fun game, great business, one of the best open world maps of all
I
time.
lost my vase. Can you find it?
Right here, you fuck. It's in your ass.
Oh, there's a rose in it. Smells like shit. All right, go ahead. Ian.
Okay.
He's like, continue.
I do want to talk about Tomb Raider. Crystal Dynamics announced on Twitter with a very cryptic post that they are working on yet another Tomb Raider. We knew this. It's going to be called Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I think. And they kind of doubled down on that by making every first letter of every sentence in their Twitter post spell shadow, and which is a little touch they added. They also said they're trying to something new here. They've been working on this for over 3 years, and they're going to unveil it in 2018, and it's going to be available shortly after the unveil, meaning we're going to have rise of the shadow of the Tomb Raider in 2018. I cannot fucking wait. And no one else gives a fuck. All right, more of you motherfuckers.
No. I'm excited.
Cricket. A second, man.
This game is amazing. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of the best games.
Process is his speech. God.
Hey, it was a it was a little compelling. Come on, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That game is worth a speech, man.
Just as long as the Lara Croft and this new Tomb Raider doesn't look like the one in that freaking B movie they're making, then we'll be okay.
Oh man, that shit looks horrible. I ain't gonna lie.
Noof Nukem, he was really looking forward to it, man.
Well, Noof.
It sounds like Shadows. It might be more supernatural this go around, so we'll see.
It was supernatural in the first one, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then they kind of
Was it not
Baba
in the second one?
Yaga DLC kind of doubled down on that.
The second one, not so much. No.
I mean, the second one you're finding, I can't even say it, but yeah, it's supernatural. And the DLC they added, you're dealing with a witch, so. Yeah, it's got supernatural elements. They take liberties, and if you haven't beat Rise of the Tomb Raider at 60 frames on the X, it's one of the best experiences you can have. I've done it on the X, and it's absolutely outstanding. So,
see, Dealer, that's like the 5th game I was supposed to play after I finished. I just beat Origins like 2 days ago.
There's so many.
And I was going to go back to Fallout 4 and do the Game of the Year edition, which I've never done in the DLC. And then I got into Wildlands. I've just been like so sidetracked. I've been having so much fun on this Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another. Do you guys see the trailer for the new Walking Dead game?
No.
Looks pretty interesting.
Yeah,
it's made by
decent out.
505 Games. We don't trust you, but hopefully it's good.
505. What have they made?
They did Sniper Elite.
Yeah.
Thought that was Rebellion.
Well, they were the publisher,
Sniper
the developer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ghost Warrior.
Wait, didn't they do a racing game? If I'm not mistaken.
Sniper Elite Racing Edition, I think.
Toilet Turds Grand Prix.
No, I'm gonna go look it up real quick.
I don't know. If they've done
it's not a bad game, no.
Sniper Warrior, Sniper Ghost Warrior. I don't know.
Sniper Elite V2. They did 505 Games did that one for sure.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking that was Rebellion.
Oh, they did Payday 2. I don't know. That damn, they haven't really did too many games that are interesting.
Hey, they've aren't the Payday devs doing the GTFO game I told you about? That shit looked fire as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
They did Inside and Limbo. It looks like they're the publisher of those. I don't know.
Terraria.
Published by 505.
Yeah,
published by
Rebellion.
Rebellion.
Publisher.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this makes a little sense now. I'm not as confused now. All day. What do you think about the Game Awards 2017? Who took home most awards?
Fuck the Oscars. What'd you say? How do I feel about the whole awards?
Yeah.
I think it was better than last year by far.
Last year was Snoo Fest. Oh my god.
Bro. You were there personally, right, son?
Yeah, I was the last 2 years, and last year was really bad. But
yeah, this one I
back sleeping.
No, actually, you know what's funny, because the first year I went 2 years ago, you could hear me in the audience when Phil was up on stage.
Fuck Jeff Keighley.
I was like, Xbox, and then all of a sudden my phone just started blowing up. Like, oh, there's South. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Any winners, losers from the Game Awards?
I thought Horizon Zero Dawn should have got some type of award. Period.
Like what?
I don't know.
Best good game of the year?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. It should have got something, dude. It was a new IP. It was a good game. It should have got something. Period.
The best looking game that came out on PlayStation 4 in 2017, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
They don't have a graphics segment, do they?
No, they don't.
Do they have anything like best girl dressed like Tarzan while shooting an electric bow game?
Nah, I don't think so. But
that's a new category for next year.
I'll bet. Hey, do you guys know what won best ongoing game?
No.
Destiny 2.
Was it?
No.
Oh, I'm about to say what the fuck, but nah, it was. I think the awards were decent. I mean, there was a lot of pretty interesting trailers. You know, Death Stranding, everybody's mind on frying pan with eggs. I thought that Cuphead, they knocked it out the park, man. They had they got 3 awards. Forza won Best Racer. It was decent. I knew Zelda was gonna win regardless, even you know, based on the name alone. So
really,
decent
I thought
show.
Mario was gonna win.
Nah,
I thought it was between those two. I was surprised that Horizon Zero Dawn and Assassin's Creed Origins didn't win something.
PubG nominated for Game of the Year. That was a little weird.
It would have been different after.
It feels like Mod of the Year or Unfinished Game of the Year. I mean, I don't agree that it should have been there. I know Luca caught a little flack for saying that, but I think the same thing.
I honestly can't believe that people were coming at me because I said I didn't think a game that was in game preview shouldn't be nominated for Game of the Year. That doesn't make any sense.
They desperately wanted an Xbox win, Luca, so that's why people are getting mad. Because PlayStation games are saying the same thing, that PUBG doesn't belong in there. And
I mean, by my counts, Xbox didn't they win the most awards at the Game Awards?
No, they got 3 or 4, and PS4
they got 4.
6.
Oh, okay.
And PS4 got a couple for Hellblade, a couple for one for Persona. You guys remind me, you guys were watching it too.
Yeah, you're right.
PS4 got 6 awards and Xbox got 4, which is pretty cool. Let me just spout this off real quick. In the first party department, and Dealer could back me up on this, I think, PlayStation had 4 or 5 first party games in 2017, and Xbox had 3, I think. Forza 7. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Halo Wars 2.
You're making it look bad.
I was also thinking about the numbers because I ran
Phantom Dust. Don't forget about Phantom Dust.
No, I didn't even count Phantom Dust.
No.
He's like, I forgot about that one. Thanks, bro.
Right?
Yeah, anyway.
Halo Wars 2, Forza, and Cuphead, right? No, it's on Steam, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a first party.
Voodoo Events? Did that come out this year?
Either way, if we're having to struggle this hard to think of them, who gives a fuck, right?
Rip.
I do got to give a shout out to Stonewalker4. Thank you so much in the super chat, man. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. I don't know. So Cuphead. Cuphead
what are you thinking about?
Who knows,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Shit.
You'll never know.
Super
Cuphead
lucky
did win Best Indie Studio Debut. Cuphead also won Best Art Design. Forza won Game of the Year. And as you said, PlayStation took home a bunch of awards. Nintendo won Game of the Year with Zelda. Not so sure about how, feel about that necessarily. But of course, I'm not really a Zelda guy either. So what do you think about that? The fact that they won over like Horizon or something all day?
I mean, to interrupt all day, I mean, everyone knew that Nintendo was going to win Game of the Year.
Zelda.
Like, it's
Who's going to top that?
I mean, games did top it, but it's called Zelda, so yeah, Zelda won.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but all I heard from Zelda Breath of the Wild is how it was like one of the best open world games like in a long time.
I don't know how. It's empty. But
what? Best open world games in a long time. Better than The Witcher 3? Who said that, Colt?
And that's how you know they're frauds. If they compare it to Witcher or even Horizon Zero Dawn to Witcher, anybody who's played Witcher and then play Horizon Zero Dawn, you can't
look. The game is good, right? I enjoyed it, right, for what I played. But the shrines, the little small sections, the little puzzles in the game, I enjoyed the most. I didn't enjoy the open world as much. So,
yeah,
it kind of makes you think about what people like
and stuff,
Yeah, the weapons are, they all break. You don't feel really attached to anything unless you get the Master Sword.
And Noof has put a lot of time to Zelda, and he says he agrees. The world is empty, so it is what it is. Good accomplishment for a Switch, though, for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. They're killing it right now, man.
Okay, well, yeah, Game Awards were interesting. Nobody gives a fuck, Jeff Keighley. PSX, all day you were there, man. Give us the rundown real quick.
Walked in, walked out, went home. No, I'm joking. It was good, man. I enjoyed myself. A lot of games that I care about were there, and getting to, my favorite part was the panels I said on Twitter. Just sitting there with the, all the cast of doing Uncharted celebration, the cast there just talking about their experiences with the game, their little personal stories, and kind of just getting more insight with the developers on, what technologies they're using, just more in depth with the games that you particularly are interested in, or if not, I played Detroit when I was there. That was pretty good. I kind of stepped away from it because it was so much going on. I'm all day digital ADD, so I couldn't really focus on what was going on. A little bit I did, but it's just too much, man. I played a Lost Soul Aside. It's a little like Devil May Cry game. I played Far Cry 5, which Jesus Christ, man, that game. Was
how did that game run on the Pro, man? For 5 months out.
I almost walked away, bro. Like honestly, bro. You thought honestly, PubG chugs just as much as that game does.
Really?
Like it's bad, dude. It was bad.
Seeing that analysis, PUBG probably doesn't chug as much as that build of Far Cry you saw.
Is that why they pushed it back? Do you think?
I hope so. Pray to God. Let's hope, because I just first of all, I was standing in line, right? Okay, this is how bad it was. I was standing in line waiting to go test out the game, and it was looking so bad. Me and Jay walked away like, we'll come back to this later. We weren't even interested to play it. That's how bad it looked. That vertical slice
build was a little sketchy.
It was rough. And just to know that I wasn't tripping, I asked people in line, so what you guys think? Yeah, man, this game looks bad. Like everybody said the same thing. Like it wasn't just us two. It just looked really bad. And even like I'm talking about just regular, like I hop out the car, I'm shooting a couple enemies, just little engagements like that with like 10 enemies. It was like at 20 frames.
Brian in the chat, Delirium Blades, he says they only pushed it back 2 weeks. So that's not very much optimization time. It is worth noting, though, that the last couple months before launch is the polished window. So that's where all the tools come from, the performance comes from.
Then again, 2 or 3 weeks, post-launch games get patches that quickly that fix things.
If it looks that bad, I wouldn't show it off. That's just what I
was a little disappointed. I mean, they had a God of War booth. They had a Days Gone booth. The booths looked incredible. They're very, elaborate. They were really done well. No playable demos of any of the big games.
Why not? That's what I don't understand. How come you can't play God of War?
That's what I'm saying. Even if we couldn't play it, I would rather have somebody there with a vertical slice showing us the mechanics of the game or something, something to take home. You know what I mean? And there was
God of War soon, right?
Yeah, right. It's
March 22nd or something like that. March 20th.
That's the rumor date.
I don't think that was confirmed. That was leaked thanks to the PlayStation website or the store.
Those usually come out, though. Those usually come out true.
Other than that, man, the show was great. I really enjoyed myself. I'm going again next year, and I just hope they have more stuff to play for their future games because, it was rough. You walk in there, you go to that damn Days Gone booth, and you're completely immersed in that world. They got zombies walking everywhere. You walk there, and it's a fucking screen just showing the demo of the game, like just shit you see from E3. I'm like, fuck, man, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like this is fake deep.
Yep.
And God of War.
I guess now you understand, though, that you kind of were let down by the Xbox after party, where they didn't have too many big AAA games there.
Yeah, that either. Yeah, that was
thing, right.
Same thing, yeah.
So
I think out of everything I could take from both experiences, going to both, I think just being in that environment with people I like was the best part about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, PSX wasn't. Like I said, I would prefer Sony focus on one big event or something. I know people like going to the PlayStation Experience or whatever, but I think people come to expect too much from PSX now after they unveiled The Last of Us 2 there. Last year.
Yeah,
and I think
that's the same thing I said.
Them unveiling Last of Us 2 last year.
The problem. There's
ruined their E3 this year.
There's not enough content, for like the big E3s, and then like for like Xbox, because they always like to do Gamescom, and because everyone's like, oh, Xbox needs their own, Xbox experience or whatever, and talking to a lot of people, they're like, there's just not enough content, close enough to launch that's worth it,
Games are supposed to be ramping up this far into the generation. We're supposed to be getting a bunch.
And I think that another thing that comes into play is that a lot of these companies and developers, they're breaking up their content between all these shows. So when they do like PlayStation do their own show, there's not much to show because we already seen it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of. I will say there's an abundance of smaller titles at these shows, similar to the Xbox show.
Yeah,
a lot of smaller games.
a lot of IDs.
Yeah, a lot of IDs.
Yeah.
A lot of indie games. So some of those are pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of, and surprisingly, I don't know if it's just because that's all they had, but the crowds are going crazy for not PubG, but Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fortnite, they were going crazy for that. They were going crazy for Brawlhalla, which is like a Smash Brothers type of game, and they were going crazy for Gang Beast. It's like a physics-based fighting game. And those three games, like these little small games, were getting the most traffic, you know. So it was pretty interesting.
A lot of those guys are the AAA dev of the future too, you know. So
yeah,
there's talent there.
What about Days Gone? When do you guys think that's going to come out?
I don't know, but I want to see.
It's a Naughty
that
Dog
game looks
title.
Good.
I don't think they gave a release window for it or anything.
Days Gone it's made by Studio Bend Studio. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it could come out this holiday.
I don't think so.
It has
I think
to come out.
2019.
Yeah,
Look, it has
early
to come out
2019.
before The Last of Us. It has to.
When do you think The Last of Us is coming out? Because they just
2019.
got started on the real work in 2017, and they're saying it's 50% done. And don't most games usually take 3 years?
3 years minimum.
Yeah.
So it's another year and a half away.
Yeah.
Does that push it closer to 2020? Like is
I think it's going to be late
a PS5
2019.
game?
I think it's going to be late 2019.
If you think about the track
Naughty Dog doesn't put out their games in the holiday anymore. They did way back from the original Uncharted, but so I'm just trying to figure out when that one's coming out.
Well, if you think about it, PS3 when Last of Us came out, that was at the end of its life cycle. So this might do the same thing this time around. So.
PlayStation 17.
Yeah.
It'll be out in probably 2019 at the earliest. So
yeah, because they said Neil, when he was on stage, he said that it's 50 to 60% done now. So,
but hey, if he makes a good experience, that's what we want from games. Shit, we remember stuff we like to think about. So
worth waiting
damn
for.
Right.
I do want to go into the NPD number leaks that we have right now. Nothing official as of yet. I think those hit in the next day or so. So this is kind of bad timing on our show here. But basically, what we've got right now is PlayStation 4 pulling in around 1.5 million for November, counting Black Friday and all these things. And then Xbox One pulling in a rumored 1.4 million. Even with the X's launch, it had predicted, 500,000 or so. I don't know, man. This is just a rumor, but it could very well be true. We had similar leaks last year, though we did have conflicting reports earlier.
What are the numbers again?
1.5 for the PS4, 1.4 for the Xbox.
Smokes, that's close if those are real.
Yeah, that's really close.
But of course, everybody expects the X to beat the PS4 because it has a new console. But man,
I mean, it destroyed the Pro.
But the thing,
that's kind of his closest thing, right?
Yeah,
at $500, it's.
But why is it taking so long to get these numbers? Are they combining them with Black Friday and launch and all that stuff?
They're all going to form like Voltron. I have no clue, man. But like I said, either way, though, with the X doing as well as it's done, analysts have doubled their predictions, selling at $500, like the Switch at $300. A Switch has a lot of hype and stuff behind it, a ton of exclusives, like one every month. That's commendable, no matter who you are. So I'm very happy with it. I think that's great news, man. Luca, did you expect pretty strong sales for both of these platforms over Black Friday, over November?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the deals they were doing, the whole $199 PlayStation 4 and then the $189 Xbox One S. Like,
was this
I
one of the
thought,
best deals you saw?
Yeah, it was really nice. And then I think GameStop was doing a deal. They gave you a $50 gift card and you could apply that for your PS4. So it was more like $149. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. I think this was a really good holiday for both companies. Oh, and Nintendo too. I don't really. But yeah,
Nintendo had no sales.
I mean, do they ever have any sales?
No. But I'm saying you would think something would be on sale, right?
Nah, fam.
Yeah, maybe not. Oh well.
Man, I got a lot of messages on Twitter. Okay, a lot of people want that the Evil Within 2. It's good to know somebody does. So, I'm going to definitely reply to one of you guys. I will announce it on Twitter, the winner that I choose from there. Sorry if you're a Patreon member, if you missed the window. It was up there for probably 3 or 4 days. But nonetheless, we got even better games, in my opinion, probably next month for the giveaways on
Games
Patreon.
that doesn't make all day scream.
Yeah, all day. It really did scream like a little schoolgirl. It was absolutely great. So
Relax.
relax. I do want to give one last shout out to 400 people watching this live, guys. Thanks. We know once again PUBG and stuff's out. You guys still showed up, and we do appreciate it. Hit that like button, show your support, and of course, the Patreon link and stuff will be down below if you're interested. If you happen to give a fuck, but we're gonna go ahead and head out south. What do you got going on, man? Thanks for showing up.
You know what? It was nice being back. Miss you guys, and to be able to converse with you guys, and feel back like I'm back in the game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll be on Xbox as much as I can. My schedule kind of relaxed a little bit, so yeah, I'll be on the Xbox. So holler at me.
All right, all day, man. Good to have you back. I know your work schedule is kind of lining back up for the winter months anyway. Thanks for coming back, man.
Oh yeah, man, no doubt, man. It's lined up well. It was good to be back with you guys once again. Hopefully, I can make it back next week. We're Loot Chest Radio. We're having another show this week. We're going to be recording on Friday. It'll be posted on Sunday. We're going to have a special guest, Christian Allen from Epic Games. Will be on the show, so you guys stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. Cole Eastwood, what you been up to, man?
You can find me on Xbox Live at Cole Eastwood or YouTube at Cole Eastwood. And yeah, we'll play Wildlands. We'll play PUBG probably. Yeah,
When you getting PUBG soon, right?
I might buy it tonight.
Yeah, you might.
A lot
as
of
well.
things tell me not to, but I guess I just might as well
just bite the bullet. Yeah.
I don't need to support like the preview of PUBG, but I do want to
preview on every platform.
Yeah, no, I mean I'd rather, my reason to buy it is to support the opportunity to play with my friends. That's the reason why I would support PUBG at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And the Ashen Luca, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at the Ashen Luca. Really good show. It's nice to have you back, Southie.
Nice to be back. Thank you.
You guys can find her on Twitter at Luca. And thank you so much for checking out the show, guys. Once again, hit that like button, show your support, share the podcast, do what you can. And I guess we'll see you guys next week. See you guys later.
Bye.
Peace out.